You know, something funny happened to me this morning at the coffee shop.
Oh, yeah? What happened?
Well, I was standing in line, just waiting for my coffee. And the person behind me looked outside at the rain, looked back at me, and said, "Looks like it's going to be one of those days." Huh.
The classic small talk opener.
Right. And for a second, my mind went completely blank. I knew exactly what they meant, but I realized small talk can catch you off guard so easily.
Wait, even you? I thought you were always comfortable with those quick interactions.
Not always. In that moment, I realized why small talk feels so hard, especially in another language. We think we need to say something clever or clever sounding, but really, it's just about breaking the ice.
That is so true. Whenever someone starts small talk with me in English, I freeze up. I start thinking, what's the correct phrase? Is my grammar okay? And by the time I figure it out, the person has already walked away.
Exactly. And the secret is, the other person isn't grading your English. They're just making a brief human connection. A small, warm moment in a busy day.
So, what did you end up saying to them?
I just smiled, laughed a little, and said, "Tell me about it. I definitely need this coffee."
Oh, I like that. Tell me about it. It's so simple, but it sounds so natural, and it immediately shows you agree with them.
Precisely. Small talk isn't about giving a speech. It's just light, easy, back and forth.
Did they say anything back after that?
Actually, yeah. They just smiled, laughed, and said, "I hear you. Long week already." And that was it. It lasted maybe 5 seconds, but the whole vibe shifted.
That's so interesting. 5 seconds. But why does 5 seconds feel like 5 hours when you're doing it in another language?
I think it's because we feel this sudden pressure to perform. Like we're standing on a stage and someone just threw a microphone at us.
Yes, exactly. And in your head, you're secretly panicking, thinking, if I answer them, what if they ask me another question? What if I can't keep up?
Right. The fear of getting trapped in a long conversation you can't control.
Honestly, that's my biggest fear with small talk. I don't mind saying good morning or nice weather, but the moment they go deeper, I just want to disappear, which is totally normal.
But here's the funny thing about small talk. Most people usually don't want a long conversation either.
Wait, really?
Really. Most of the time, small talk is just a gentle, polite way of acknowledging another human being. It's not an interview. I never thought about it like that. So, they aren't expecting a big speech or perfect grammar? Not at all. In fact, if you give a long, complicated answer, it actually feels a little unusual.
Oh, so keeping it short and simple is actually better?
It's not just better. It's how native speakers naturally do it.
Wait, that actually changes everything for me. Because whenever I'm in line or in an elevator, I feel like if I don't give a long answer, I'm being rude.
I know, right? We think if we don't keep the conversation going, we're failing. But in reality, native speakers love quick, easy responses. Things like, tell me about it, or I hear you, or even just can't complain.
Can't complain. I hear people say that all the time. But to be honest with you, for the longest time, I took it way too literally.
Did you really?
Yes. In my head, I was thinking, why would I complain to a stranger at a coffee shop anyway?
That is so fair. But it's not actually about your life problems. It's just a polite way of saying, everything is fine. I'm doing okay.
So it's almost like a gentle social handshake?
Exactly. A gentle social handshake. You're just acknowledging the other person. You're saying, I see you, we're sharing this quick moment, and we're both just getting through our day. I really like that framing. But wait, what if someone asks you something slightly bigger? Like, how's your week going? Or got any big plans for the weekend? What do you do then without getting totally overwhelmed? The classic weekend question. That one gets people every single time.
Right? Because if I say nothing, it feels like I have no life. But if I try to explain my whole schedule, I get completely stuck trying to translate everything.
That is the trap right there. We feel like we need an exciting itinerary, like, well, Saturday I'm climbing a mountain and Sunday I'm baking artisanal bread.
When in reality, I'm just sitting on my couch watching TV.
Which is completely fine. Native speakers do that all the time. But instead of saying nothing, they use phrases like, just keeping it low key, or nothing major, just taking it easy.
Keeping it low key. I love that. It sounds so relaxed. Like I could climb a mountain, but I'm choosing to rest.
Exactly. It turns I have no plans into a cozy, intentional decision. You don't sound boring, you sound comfortable with your time.
So if someone asks, got any big plans for the weekend? I can just say, not much, just keeping it low key. How about you?
Spot on. And notice what you did at the end there.
How about you?
Yes, you answered their question simply, and then you threw the ball right back to their court.
Taking the pressure off myself.
Precisely. In small talk, the easiest way to feel comfortable is to let the other person do a bit of the talking.
How about you? It really is like a magic spell, isn't it? Because once you say that, they start talking, and you can finally just take a breath.
Exactly. You shift from being in the spotlight to just being a good listener. And honestly, most people love having a chance to share a little piece of their day.
Okay, but what if they give you an answer that totally catches you off guard? Like you ask, got any big plans? And they say, oh, I'm actually flying to Japan tonight.
The unexpected big answer.
Right. Suddenly in your head, you're like, wait, I wasn't prepared for Japan. What grammar do I use for international travel?
It's so easy to panic there. But here's the trick. You don't need to be an expert on Japan. You just need a warm reaction phrase. Something simple like, oh wow, that's exciting. Or, no way, is it for work or a vacation?
For work or a vacation. Oh, I love that. Or people sometimes say for business or pleasure, right?
Yes, business or pleasure is a classic. It gives them two easy options, so they can keep their answer short if they want to.
And you know what else I've noticed native speakers do? They just repeat the key word with a little curiosity in their voice, like Japan. Spot on. Just echoing that one word, Japan.
shows you're listening without you having to build a giant sentence from scratch.
Wait, so literally just repeating the word? Like, if someone says, yeah, I'm heading out to visit my sister, I can just say, sister?
Exactly. Just with a slight rising intonation at the end. It's amazing because people naturally love to elaborate on things they care about. By just saying sister, you're giving them permission to share a tiny bit more without you having to construct a long, complex question.
That is such a relief to hear. Because in my head, I'm always trying to build these big sentences. Oh, where does your sister reside? And it ends up sounding like a formal interview.
Right. Or a police interrogation. Where is she located? How long will you remain there?
Yes, exactly. And nobody wants to feel interrogated while waiting for their coffee.
No, definitely not. Small talk is supposed to feel light, like tossing a tennis ball back and forth very gently. You don't need to smash the ball over the net, you just toss it back softly.
Okay, but what happens when the coffee is ready or the elevator reaches your floor? How do you end the conversation without making it feel super awkward? Because that's another spot where I usually freeze up.
The exit. That's actually easier than the opening once you know the trick. Native speakers use what I like to call transition signals.
Transition signals? Like what?
Just simple little phrases that show you're wrapping things up. Things like, well, looks like my order's ready, or, well, this is my floor.
Starting with well?
Yes, that little word well does a lot of heavy lifting in English. It gently signals to the other person that the interaction is reaching a natural conclusion.
So, well, is almost like hitting the gentle brakes before you walk away?
Exactly. It gives the other person a split second to realise, the conversation is wrapping up now. Otherwise, if you just say goodbye out of nowhere, it feels abrupt.
Right, like, wait, why is this person running away from me? Did I say something wrong?
Precisely. So you say, well, followed by your reason, and then you hit them with a warm closing line.
What's your go-to closing line?
Honestly, have a good one.
Have a good one. I hear people say that constantly. But when I first started practicing English, I was so confused by that. I kept thinking, have a good what?
A good day, a good weekend, a good coffee. Nobody knows.
Right?
And that's why it's brilliant. It covers everything. It works in the morning, in the evening, on Friday, even on a random Tuesday.
It's like a universal social shortcut.
It really is. You just say, well, have a good one. You smile, you take your coffee, and you walk away. Clean, friendly, zero stress.
I love that. But can I ask you something honest? What if you run into someone you actually know, like a coworker in the office hallway? Isn't that a little different than a total stranger at a coffee shop?
Hallway small talk with co-workers, that is a whole different game.
Because with a stranger, if it gets quiet, you just look at your phone. But with a coworker, you see them every single day.
Exactly. And hallway small talk is tricky because you're usually both moving in opposite directions.
Yes, you literally have about 3 seconds before you pass each other. So what are you even supposed to say?
Well, the most common trap for English learners here is what I call the passing question.
The passing question? What's that?
It's when a coworker walks past you in the hall, smiles, and says, "Hey, how's it going?"
Right. And then you stop, turn around, and start explaining, well, I'm working on this report and my computer crashed.
And by the time you finish your sentence, they're already down at the end of the hallway.
I have definitely done that. I felt so weird. I was like, wait, why did they ask if they didn't want to know?
Because in everyday spoken English, how's it going in a hallway isn't actually a question.
Wait, it's not a question? But it sounds like one.
It's just a vocal wave. It's a quick verbal hello. They aren't looking for a detailed status report on your life.
So, what's the expected answer then?
You just say, "Good, how are you?" Or, "Hey, doing well," while you keep walking. You don't even stop.
You don't even stop walking?
Nope. Keep your momentum. It's a passing greeting, not a meeting.
That takes so much pressure off. So, how's it going is basically just English for I see you. Hi.
Precisely. I see you, hi, and we both have things to do.
Okay, but what if you can't keep walking? Like standing in the break room, waiting for the microwave with a coworker you barely know? You can't just say, "Doing well, hi," and run away.
The dreaded microwave trap. 2 minutes can feel like an eternity when you're both just staring at a spinning plate of food in silence.
Right, because pulling out your phone feels a bit rude, but staring at the wall in silence feels even worse. So what do you actually say when you're stuck in one spot?
The secret for those trapped moments is comment on the immediate environment. You don't need to ask personal questions. You just observe what's happening right in front of both of you.
Like, smells good. What are you having?
Exactly. Smells good is probably the #1 break room opener in the entire English-speaking world. It's effortless, it's friendly, and it gives them an easy topic to jump into.
And honestly, people love talking about food.
They really do. Or if you're waiting for coffee, you can simply say, "Long day already, huh?" Or "Popular coffee machine today."
Popular coffee machine today. That's so simple, but it completely breaks that heavy, awkward silence.
It really does. Because small talk isn't meant to be deep. It's just a tool to lower the tension in the room so everyone feels a bit more comfortable.
Lowering the tension. Yeah, when you frame it like that, it takes away so much fear. It's not an English exam, it's just making the room a little warmer.
Exactly. It really is just about human warmth. But can I tell you another moment where people usually get terrified during small talk?
Oh boy, what is it this time?
It's that moment when you don't hear what the other person said, or you simply don't understand them.
Oh, stop. That is literally my worst nightmare. Because usually I just smile, nod, and pretend I understood.
Right, the classic smile and nod. We've all done it.
And then you realise too late that they asked you a question and you're just sitting there smiling like a statue.
Yes, they say something serious and you just laugh and say, "Yeah, awesome."
Oh no, that is so embarrassing. So, what are you actually supposed to do when you don't catch what someone said? Is pardon too formal?
Pardon can sound a bit formal, yeah, almost like you're in a Victorian costume drama. In everyday spoken English, native speakers use much simpler phrases. Things like, "Sorry, I missed that," or "Sorry, what was that?"
Sorry, I missed that. That sounds so smooth.
It really is. Or if you're in a busy place, like a cafe or a noisy office, you can just blame the environment. You say, "Sorry, it's a bit noisy in here. What was that?"
Oh, blaming the noise. That is genius. Because then it's not about your English level, it's just about the room.
Precisely. You take the pressure off your language skills and put it on the room. Zero shame, zero stress.
You know, hearing all of this, it sounds so doable when we talk about it like this. But I know the moment I'm actually standing in a coffee shop, my brain might still try to freeze up.
That's totally normal. It takes a little practice to make those quick phrases feel like second nature. Hey, why don't we try a quick test right now?
Wait, right now? Like a practice scenario?
Yeah. Pretend we don't know each other. You're standing in line, waiting for your drink, and I walk up next to you. No pressure, just use whatever pops into your head.
Okay, let me get into character. I'm ready.
Man, this line is barely moving today, huh?
Tell me about it. I think the espresso machine is having a rough morning.
Right?
I definitely need this coffee before my first meeting. How's your morning starting off?
Not bad. Just keeping it low-key so far. How about you?
Can't complain. Just trying to survive a long Friday.
I hear you.
And stop right there. Look at that. You didn't hesitate for a single second.
Wait, wow. That actually felt really natural. And I didn't have to construct any big, complicated sentences in my head.
Not a single one. You just used 3 simple phrases. Tell me about it, keeping it low key, and how about you? And the whole exchange took maybe 8 seconds.
It's crazy because in my head, right before you spoke, I was preparing this giant sentence. I was literally trying to translate something like, I am attempting to conserve my energy for the upcoming workload.
Right, I am attempting to conserve my energy. And instead, you just said keeping it low key.
Exactly. 4 words instead of a whole academic essay. And it actually sounded way more natural. Because that's the big secret we forget when we learn a language. We think native speakers are walking around using elaborate, complex sentences all day long. But in reality, daily spoken English is built on these tiny, flexible chunks. Tiny chunks? You know, that takes so much weight off my shoulders because when you view it as chunks, you aren't trying to build a house from scratch every time someone speaks to you. You're just handing them a simple brick.
I love that image. Just handing them a brick. A soft, friendly, social brick.
Exactly. Here's my brick. Tell me about it.
And notice what happens to your whole body when you do that. When you stop searching your mind for complicated grammar, your shoulders drop. You actually look at the person. You smile.
Yeah, because you're present. You're actually in the room with them instead of being trapped inside your own head. Which is really what small talk was created for in the first place. It was never meant to be an English exam. It's just a quick, gentle way of saying, hey, I see you. We're both just navigating our day. That makes me feel so much better. So, if someone is listening to us right now, feeling that exact same panic whenever someone starts small talk in English, what's the main thing you'd tell them to remember? I think I'd tell them to focus on the connection, not the perfection.
Focus on connection, not perfection. I love that so much because when you think about it, every deep friendship, every good coworker relationship, every person you feel comfortable around today started with a tiny 5-second conversation.
It really did. Nobody meets a close friend and immediately shares their whole life story while standing in line for a bagel. It always starts with something silly, like, hey, is this the line for iced coffee? Or, cold out there today, eh?
Right. It's like small talk is just the doorway. You don't have to live in the doorway forever, but you have to step through it if you want to enter the room.
That is such a great way to put it. It's just the doorway. And you don't need a golden key to open it. You just need 2 or 3 simple, comfortable phrases in your back pocket.
Honestly, just knowing those few phrases makes me feel so much lighter already. Phrases like, tell me about it, or keeping it low key, or even, sorry, it's a bit noisy. What was that? I don't have to scramble for complex grammar rules in my head anymore.
Exactly. And to whoever is listening to us right now, if you're taking a walk today or ordering a tea or riding the train, you don't need to force a long 20-minute conversation in English.
Yeah, just try one single phrase, even if it's just smiling at someone and saying, have a good one, as you step off the elevator.
That's it. One small moment at a time. And every time you do it, that doorway gets just a little bit easier to open.
I feel like I actually want to go to a cafe right now just to try this out.
Well, I definitely won't stop you. In fact, I think I need a refill myself.
Well, looks like it's coffee time.
Look at you using the transition signal. Have a good one.
Have a good one.